Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, and I've got two great guests this morning. Got two. I'm lucky this morning. We are having a return guest, and I'm sure that some of you are going to recognize Mr. Kenneth, the Cowboy marketer. What's up, my man? And his beautiful wife, Lori. Good morning.
Yes. How are you this morning?
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, remind us, if we didn't already be able to take a good guess, where you guys are calling in from.
We are from Lubbock, Texas.
There you go. I would have guessed it. Are you lifelong Texans?
Yes. Yes. Born and raised.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So, Lori, let's hear from you first.
Okay.
What's it been like to have Kenneth invite you in to join this journey so far?
Well, I'm not sure it was an open invitation. I invited myself. He had been doing it about 4 weeks, and I saw the commissions he was making and thought, okay, yeah, I'm jumping on that. So I went through your training and started doing it as well.
Man, I've often been asked, how do you get your spouse to support you? And I've never been able to come up with a better answer except show them the money.
That was it.
I'm not going to lie. That's exactly what did it for me. When he first started this, it was so far out of his comfort zone. I didn't think it would last.
Right.
But then saw the money and jumped on board.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
He does very well.
So that now that we've got that out of the way, folks who are tuning in, we'll remind you throughout the show here that the best way to get your spouse to support you is to keep going, follow through, right? Produce some sort of results. And I think most spouses have a little bit of a right to be skeptical at first, of anything that we're doing. We decide to kind of join our lives together, and now all of a sudden it's what you spend your time on, what you're focused on is definitely taking it away from something else. So I have a right as a spouse to ask a question. How did you guys deal with the beginning stages of you getting started, Kenneth, when she was a little bit more skeptical?
Well, I know some of these people have heard my story. Of course, I was told I couldn't do physical labor anymore. I had to do something different, and that's when I was researching different avenues, and she's actually the one that just kind of popped off jokingly and said, maybe you ought to become an affiliate marketer.
Really?
Okay. So that's when I started doing all the research. And even as I was doing all the research, she was still like, yeah, it's way out of his comfort zone, Then I got the challenge, and I started on that, and she saw that I was pretty pumped, and I think she was still a little skeptical then. And then I told her, look, I'm investing in us. I'm doing the blueprints, and I told her I'm going all the way.
I supported him in doing that. I just thought it was way out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, they still made fun of me when I made my first videos. She laughed at me.
I did.
Tell me if it's been more uncomfortable for you to film videos and to kind of operate in your home and in front of your wife, or if it's been more uncomfortable, because I've heard some people say, and I've related to this too, man, I really am holding back here filming in my home just because I'm still a little bit kind of unsure of myself, but then some people are not so uncomfortable with that, but are more uncomfortable with being seen out publicly. Was there any of that going on with you?
I think you felt that way in the beginning.
Yeah, I think in the beginning I did feel that way, because like she said, this was way beyond anything I'd ever done. I'm saying I'm an introvert. I really am. I'm not a
cowboy, a real life cowboy.
Yeah.
I think it actually helped him in some ways because I'm not an introvert at all. And so I just do the video. I don't care. And I think that actually freed him up a little to just do what he was doing.
Yeah.
Once I was doing it too.
Yeah, kind of
especially
not
our
really
lives.
worry about.
Started doing lives, and lives for us have been awesome. We've made a lot of connections, and we've done well with it. We got a lot of followers from it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have ever done it if it hadn't been for her, because we can do it together. We play off each other.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice. So give everybody a little bit of a backstory, just real briefly, of kind of what led you here, Kenneth, because I think that people need to hear this story about your health challenges and what you've overcome here, and kind of how you're approaching life in general and how you're approaching this. Because I see a man who's throwing out all of the concerns about what everybody else wants from him, and this man's doing what he wants to do with his life right now, and he's thriving, and it's a beautiful thing to see. Tell us a little bit about some of the dark side of the story before you got here, or some of the, what it was like, what happened. We're going to learn what it's like now, but for those who don't know you, tell a little bit of us what it was like before.
Okay. Well, a lot of people know. I mean, I was electrical lineman for 16 years, worked on high voltage power lines. I mean, I did other things too. I cowboy, grew up on a farm and a ranch. I've always done physical labor, always. And when I was electrical lineman, I was electrocuted with 69,000 volts. At the time, we didn't realize it until about 13 years later that it had damaged my heart. And so now I've had 8 heart attacks. I've got 25 stents now. I've had 2 quadruple bypasses. And I'm currently testing to get on a heart transplant list. They've just decided I got to do something. Well, that's kind of what brought me to this, because we owned a sandblasting and a coating business, did a lot of oil field work, stuff like that. Excuse me. And doctors told me no more. Said, you got to stop. You got to stop doing the physical work. You just can't do it anymore. And that's when I decided, I got to find something. I wasn't ready to retire. I mean, I'm ashamed to say I did not prepare for it. I mean, I was 55 years old, and wasn't part of my plan. And so,
well, we thought we had time.
We did. And so that's when I got on, and I thought, okay, I got to figure out a way to make an income, because I'm not going to take a handout. It's just not going to happen. And that's when I was researching. He said something, well, what about affiliate marketing? I didn't have a TikTok page. I didn't even know what copy and paste was on a computer. I mean, that's how much experience
I taught him how to Google so he could research affiliate marketing.
That's right. I mean, I really didn't. And it was a godsend. Yeah, it honestly was a godsend.
Absolutely.
But I started doing the research. I actually researched you. I looked at all the training. I knew affiliate marketing was real. I mean, I did enough research to know that. Then I knew I didn't know how to do it, and I had to find somebody that could teach me. And that's when I started researching the different programs. I researched the people that put on the programs, and I researched you. And I knew you had a lot of credibility. I saw great things about you, and it was $7. Actually 44. We did the 44. I wanted everything I get my hands on. And it just grew from there. I mean, and that's where we are today. I mean, we have been successful beyond what we ever thought we could be. I mean, it's been an incredible ride. It really has. So, yeah, godsend. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
And Lori, what would you share a little bit of that, your perspective and from your experience about what that leading up and in that kind of time frame that Kenneth just shared a little bit before he got started, and now kind of as it's gotten going?
Well, when obviously we knew there was heart trouble. He had his first heart attack at 39, and he got his last stent last December. So it's been ongoing, obviously, but you're never quite prepared for them to say, okay, now you can't do it anymore. So it was petrifying, to be honest. We needed an income. We both worked at that company. He did the bidding of the jobs, the employees, the job sites, all that. And I ran the office. So we were both fixing to be out of a job. Plus I needed to be able to travel with him to Baylor Scott & White for the testing.
Yeah, which is in Dallas.
Yeah, which is in Dallas. So not only did we need to find something, but we needed to find something that we could do while we were traveling. So it was scary. But when he when I saw the research that he was putting into it, I knew it wasn't just something he was doing off the cuff. He was actually looking into it. So when he wanted to invest, I supported him in it. I figured if he was spending that much time investing, then he saw something there that could happen. So, but it was a scary time.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was very scary. Like I say, way out of my comfort zone. So that was, yeah. Still out of my comfort zone, honestly. I mean, there's still days. I mean, I get in front of the camera and I'm like, what am I doing? You know? I mean,
I told him for weeks, let's go live. Let's go live. Finally, I set the phones up. I said, sit here. And I said, you better smile because I'm pushing play. And that was the first time he went live. So.
Yeah. So talk to us about this evolution of now finally going live with husband and wife together, and you guys are working together and playing together and sitting together and taking care of yourselves together, going and traveling. And you know, my wife and I talk about this all the time, getting old together. You know, it can be scary, but it's also a beautiful thing because you know, it's like, wow, we've lived this whole life and here I am. We don't know what's next, but we'll be there for each other. So you're doing all that stuff, and it's a beautiful thing. How has it been? Talk to us a little bit about, you know, getting on, going live, and where some of the momentum really picked up for you, both of you. Was it going live? Was it when you finally started to go live?
For him, it definitely was.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he was seeing results, no doubt. But going live just seemed to put us out there more. We seem to attract a lot of couples, people watching it, and for whatever reason they want their spouse to quit working or to find something else, or they're, you know, in very hard jobs. So yeah, I would say it definitely picked up when we started doing lives. And then we're very consistent, very consistent.
Yeah. What does that mean? Can you define, so just so everybody, we hear that word so much on the show in particular, got to be consistent. Like, what does being consistent actually mean for you guys?
Well, when I first started, I would post 4 times a day minimum, trying to get myself out there as much as I could. We researched the products that we're going to be affiliates for. We researched the companies. We go live consistently. People know what time we're going to be there. And we have the same people who will hop on every live, and we love that. And a lot of them have become internet friends.
Sure.
And join the process. So that has been amazing. But we make a plan every day for what we're going to get accomplished that day. Now, it may only take us an hour, but we're very consistent in doing it. And we'll remind each other, hey, have you posted a video? Hey, have you, you know, reached out to anybody? So that's what I mean by consistent. And just for the record, we're also consistent in giving praise. Every time that we get a commission, we stop everything and we pray right then and there.
Okay. When we say this is a God thing, it's a God thing. I mean, our faith is what drives us too. You know?
Good for you guys. Good for you guys. So you're combining now another element of spirituality into this kind of this life that you're designing. And that's all. I've said that for many years, that we can literally design our lives. And I get a lot of kind of like, what the hell are you talking about? But and you were kind of forced out of work in order to design your life. You have to, in some way, shape, or form, either through being forced into kind of independence, or whether you make a decision to take control of your life and start designing it as you want. What you all have laid out to me in just a short 15 minutes is really now it came out of a tragedy or a shocking incident that it wasn't planned that way.
Right.
But you now have, out of this incident, designed your life into this beautiful, dynamic experience where there's spirituality, there's emotional support, you're working alongside of each other, and you're also connecting with other couples and other individuals. And do you think that it brings more credibility? What do you think that being together on lives and being seen together, both all in, adds to your influence or your credibility?
I think it's definitely with our credibility, because I mean, people see us as a team.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you would be amazed how many times, you know, somebody will be on here to be a wife and she'll say, now what time are y'all going to be back on here? Because I got to get my husband on here. He's got to watch you guys. You know, this is going to get him started. And so I think that's helped us a lot, you know, and I think it helps other people too. I mean, you know, that's because it gives them the confidence to go forward with it, because they see that these two people, you know, they taught this old
Texas.
they taught this old dog new tricks, you know. I mean, so
I think it helps too, because when we go live, I'm a chatty Cathy. I'll just talk, and Kenneth is very serious. So when they ask questions about affiliate marketing, I'm usually the one that chimes in. If they ask questions about the tools to do it, he's usually the one that chimes in. So we kind of got serious and goofy over here, and it works. Two personalities, and I think what's great about that is everybody's going to connect with one of them.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, my wife and I are the same way. I mean, I'm the chatty one, and she's, you know, she's in most places, social situations. I'm the one who's gonna kind of, you know, we were just at a dance thing for our daughter this last weekend, a dance competition. Her first dance competition, by the way, and she won first place for her duet.
Awesome.
Congratulations!
Oh, she's so sweet. But you know, I'm sitting here talking to all the moms and stuff like that. One of the other dancers' moms who choreographed our daughter's dance. I'm just I can't believe, you know, how did you? And my wife's just like, you know, she just we're unique people who have opposites attract in a way, and I like how you pointed that out, because our spouses, you know, when I first got started, I really wanted my wife to be more like me. Now, this was many years ago, over 10 years ago, when I was just getting started. And I thought, boy, I wish in order to make this work, I need my wife to be just like me. You know, all these kind of, and it wasn't until years went by that I realized that we complemented each other wonderfully, and that her strengths were actually my weaknesses. And it sounds like you guys have found that as well. Kenneth, can you say from your perspective, you know, how you see your team working? Is it how Lori just, what is your perspective on what's the magic between now that you two are working together?
Well, I think it is just like she said. I'm the very technical one. I mean, now that I've actually learned how to use a computer and turn one on, I'm the one that does I do the funnels. You know, she'll say, hey, why don't we, you know, we want to promote this right here. She says, you know, I'll figure out the content and copyright, and then I'll go in and I'll do the funnel, you know, and I'll put everything together. You know, I'll put the emails together, and we work together as far as our content on our emails and all that. We'll work together a lot on that. Our ebooks, you know, I mean, I kind of did my ebook and then she did hers, but we worked together on that, because, you know, she's more, I was the very technical, you know, you do this, you know, but she was the very, well, let's tell them, you know, you can do this, you know.
Or tell your story.
Yeah.
You just wanted to tell him how to do it, and I wanted him to tell his story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we complement each other very well that way. Like I say, I'm very black and white, and I'm very, you know, pointed. I don't, you know, I don't jack around.
Sure. You're not a big, probably somebody who's going around constantly telling your story. For God's sakes, you're a damn cowboy. You don't tell nobody nothing about your feelings, for God's sakes. No, and I'm just joking. I'm sure you're a very soft teddy bear inside. But Lori, what is it? No.
With me, but not with other people. No.
Okay. And now, so Lori, what's it been like to try to since he is telling his story, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what it might have been like if he never did start really doing that, and how some people who were just focused on the mechanics and not on the marketing and the storytelling, how they're really missing out on a lot of connection by not sharing more of a story.
I think Kenneth attracts a lot of people because of the whole cowboy. People see that, but I think when you're investing, you want to invest with someone you know. whether you only know them over the internet. And Kenneth needed to tell his story, why we're here, how he got here. Not just a 56-year-old cowboy on there doing affiliate marketing. Why is he doing affiliate marketing? What led him to do affiliate marketing? Because when he started really sharing his story, people started connecting with him, and then they wanted to do what he was doing. They saw it working for him. So I think it's very important for people to tell their stories and why they're here. We've had people that have asked us, what suggestion would you give? And I always say, be consistent and tell your story. Why are you here? Because people out there in your situation are going to relate to you. I think it's been extremely beneficial for him to share that story.
It is.
Now, Kenneth, have you been surprised by the response from people when you have opened up a little bit more and told them why you're doing this?
Yes, quite. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, that's it's like she said. I mean, we've made relationships. It's crazy. I mean,
no, I've heard about some of the people. I mean, they love you. I mean, we've heard, I've heard about some of the people who have emailed in and into our company anyways. And, they just love you. They really, yeah, they really, there's some people, and I'm sure there's more than just the ones that I've heard from who really are getting a lot of value from you and want to make sure that, you're getting credit for their sales and, all that kind of stuff, because they really feel obligated to, they feel like they've received a lot of value from you both.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I do appreciate that.
It's really landed well with people. And obviously you can see that in your results, but I can also echo that people feel strongly about their, the value that they've got from you and that they want to make sure that,
that is nice to hear.
Yeah, for sure. It's been really cool. I was actually excited to hear that you were coming back on and that you were kicking butt and taking names, because your story was so impactful when I first heard it as well. What about the people who are sitting here listening, saying, "Well, geez, I don't have a story like that." What would you say to those people? How do they mine their gold from their mess inside of their mess and turn it into a message?
I think everybody's got a story. There's a reason that you needed to find that extra income. There's a reason why you're here. Whether it be, like she said, she's working with one lady that she wants her husband to be able to retire because of his job. Talk about that. Talk about why is that job such a struggle? Why is she wanting to get him out of that? Had a guy that he's tired. He's a truck driver. He's tired of being on the road. He's tired of missing family events. That's your story. I mean, there's a reason.
I think it's also important. Your story, yes, is very important why you're there. But one thing that we think helps us, but it's not a ploy. It just helps us. We took ourselves out of the equation. When we do our lives, do we make a commission? Absolutely. But we took that away as our goal. Our goal is to help someone else with a situation that they have. When we started approaching it that way, not, hey, here's what we're going to get out of this, but we started approaching it as, what are you going to get out of it? And we do a prayer list every single live. And we make it, we tell people that is more important to us than this. That Kenneth has on so many prayer lists, and we ask people if they would like to be on our prayer list or know somebody that they would want on our prayer list. And then how can we help you better your situation? When we took ourselves kind of out of the equation and focused on the other people, it really started making a difference. Because people need to know that someone understands what they're going through, and here's the solution that may help you.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope that makes sense.
Before they part with their money, of course it makes sense. It's beautifully well said. I think that it is, many people come in here with that feeling that pressure of life or whatever it is, the pressure of health, the pressure of needing to make a change, right? And so they're under some pressure in feeling like their finances or whatever they're wanting to start a business. You know, a lot of people are not starting a business because they're already rich. They're wanting to start a business because they want to get out of a crappy situation that they're in, and their finances may not be what they want them to be.
Right.
So I think it's difficult for people to wrap their head around, well, how do I help people without already being successful? How do I help people without already being kind of a big celebrity guru? Why would people listen to me? And what I hear you saying is it's not about being better than, it's not about knowing more. It's about genuinely saying, here's what I'm doing and here's why I'm doing it. And I'm here to support you, whether you want to sit here and listen to my live or whether you want to know more about what I'm doing. I'm gonna drop a link here in a little bit, but I'm also going to, and I'm going to direct you guys where to go, but I'm also going to talk with you, educate you, tell you my story. And if it fits, it fits. If not, I'm not gonna stretch the truth, or I'm not gonna, be something that I'm not in order to try to win you over.
Yeah. See, I think that's another thing that we really started. I mean, we always have been honest, but be very truthful. Yeah. I mean, people, we're not gonna hide anything from you. We're not gonna hide any of the cost from you. I'm not trying to hide. There's nothing that we're going to talk about that we want to hide. I mean, one of the greatest things that happens when we're on a live is when somebody puts scam.
Oh, we love that. That's our favorite.
I love it because then I can go in and I can tell them why it's not a scam. And I think it helps with other people that are on there saying, you know what, this guy's telling the truth. How can it be a scam if all this is happening? If 86% of companies online, have an affiliate marketing program, why would they do that if it's a scam? I love it. I absolutely love whenever they come on. I anticipate that whenever it comes on. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, that gets the blood pumping, right?
That's right. Sometimes I kind of have to tap him under the, okay, stop.
Right. Don't get too excited now, Kenneth. Don't get too excited. It really does add a layer of authenticity, though, when you're kind of just live like we are right now, and there's really nowhere to hide. It's kind of like, hey, you either are who you say you are, and you're. And I think we all are too hard on ourselves when we start either recording videos or going live, thinking that we should be great at it the very first or second or third time that we do it. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you've gotten better at going live and how you feel more comfortable now compared to either when you were thinking about doing it or when you first did it?
Well, in my opinion, people don't relate to perfect. There's not a whole lot of perfect people out there. So if we went live and we didn't stumble over our words, or we didn't get nervous in different situations, or be as honest as we are, people aren't going to relate to us. One of the products that I promote is skincare and makeup. And one day I had done my makeup live, and at the end of it, I grabbed a setting spray to spray my face. And I had accidentally grabbed a foundation and sprayed my whole face with that foundation. Live. I got more response that day than any other day because people relate to people who aren't perfect. I think if you made yourself perfect, then you're setting a standard that somebody feels like they can't reach. I don't want to listen to somebody who's absolutely perfect. I want to see somebody be human.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think as far as getting more comfortable too, I mean, we make it a conversation. We keep talking about these relationships that we've made online. And I think that's why it's just like talking to friends. It's just like if somebody come over to the house, and that's kind of the way we look at that. I mean, we joke with each other. We'll joke with them. We get all kind of responses. Somebody calls me Toby Keith's grandpa every time he comes on, which is a joke, which is funny. I'm not that old, by the way.
We did call us grandparents in our little deal that said the grandparents are coming back or something. And I was like, yeah, don't put grandparents. We have 10 grandkids, but you don't have to put it.
That's made us more comfortable. I mean, it's just such, we've just figured out it's just a setting.
Conversation.
We're just conversation. We're just talking, you know.
Yeah.
And that's, and like she said, we just want to help people. That's
Don't
our
go
goal.
on to sell. Go on and have a conversation.
Yeah.
So Roxanne said, so me with my chipped teeth and gray hair would be okay.
Yep.
You better look around and try to find where there ain't some gray hair around here right now. maybe on Lori. This is my beautiful wife here. She
Hey, how are you?
is a real cowboy.
You guys
Absolutely.
are so cute.
Cute's not one of the things many people call me.
I don't know that you can use most of those words on here.
No, this is PG-13, so we can't use those words.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I agree that man, I mean, people don't relate to perfect. That's the thing. I don't know why we human beings keep trying to be it. You know, we really have a hard time embracing ourselves, but for who we are. But I tell you, this business really allowed me to step into and feel comfortable in my own skin, quite frankly. For all my life, I was a little bit insecure about this, a little bit insecure about that, or a lot of insecure about this. And then I went and screwed up my life there for about 10 years when I was 16 to 14 to about 24. And I thought, now I'm really the bottom of the barrel, right? And nobody's really going to listen to me or respect me or ever want to follow me or ever. I mean, who knows? I might as well just, you know, I really was feeling hopeless about my ability to be able to have a business or be somebody who was successful at business. And what sharing my my content, you know, telling my story, coming up with the why stories of why I was promoting products, the same way that you've laid out right here. I did the same exact thing. It's the same strategy. I found the same exact response, which was people were not going, ew. They were not going, you know, they were not going, like they did in elementary school. You know what I mean? They were not doing that. That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid of like, you know, but people were adults. I needed to also grow myself up and realize that who I am is good enough. I actually do have some things to say that are both entertaining and educational. I do have some raw skills. And guess what? Each one of you do too. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. You wouldn't be able to be sitting into this damn live at your job right now or wherever else you're listening to it. Just being able, you got skills to be able to maneuver around in life. We all do, right? It's how we've survived this far. And I'll tell you, the first time I got on a live, which was a webinar, okay, it was a webinar, go-to webinar back in 2009. You know, I was walking around, walking my dog before I went live on this particular webinar training that I was doing, and I was going to offer something at the end. And I was listening to this guy named Jeffrey Combs, and he was talking about his story of being a recovering alcoholic. And I was like, this guy's famous. He's actually talking about, hold on a second here. And I said, you know what? Screw it. I said, this guy's I said, I'm going to just tell people why I'm doing exactly what you just laid out, why I'm having them here at this webinar, why I'm hosting the webinar, and why I'm promoting what I'm promoting. That's exactly what I did. And at the end of the webinar, of course, I shut the computer, terrified that I had put the final nail in the coffin of my future career, right? Now all of a sudden, everybody's going to know how much of a screw up I am. And I opened my computer back up an hour later, and I had actually made sales for the first time ever. Not just a few sales, but a lot, but not just one sale, but a few sales, right? And that was a defining moment for me to realize that the things that I thought I needed to hide from the world, that were too shameful, that were too embarrassing, that I was flawed or something, and that people were going to go, ew, right? I was like thinking about elementary school or something, or like we were high school kids or something still. But the truth of the matter is people responded to it. They responded to it. They responded positively. They even found inspiration from it. And I'm like, are you sure that's the right word?
That is so awesome.
You're inspired by me being a recovering junkie? You're inspired by me being a high school dropout. They were like, no, I'm not worried about all that. I'm a recovering addict. I'm a high school dropout. I got a friend who struggles with addiction. It wasn't a judgment thing. It was I can relate to that thing.
Yes.
And I've not really heard anybody openly sharing about that. I can relate to that. And what I found was all these people were feeling the same way that I was out in the world. They were feeling cooped up, like they couldn't say their truth. They couldn't tell their story or be themselves in their corporate jobs, right? Or else they would get fired or look,
Right.
You just don't do that in corporate America. I don't know why. It's just a rule. We don't really connect in corporate America. And, there's rules to that game. But I just found that other people, just by hearing me share more openly and honestly about why I was doing what I was doing, the response was magical to me as well. I was blown away. So I really hope that those of you who are listening this morning who are saying, I don't have a story or nobody's going to listen to me. I love what you said, Lori. Just tell them why you're doing what you're doing. If you can't think, you don't have to go into when people hear tell your story, I believe they think we mean go into a full autobiography, air all your dirty laundry, air all your beautiful laundry, and talk about it for an hour. But it's a more condensed version just to give people some context, because if they don't know why, they don't care how much. What's the saying? Yeah. They don't know how much you care until they don't know. There's a saying about caring. They don't know how much, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right?
Yeah, that's it.
Most knowledgeable person in the world. But if they don't know that there's a human being behind the intention and there's like actually some humanity behind what you're doing, meaning that you're doing it for a reason. Like it's not just you're not a puppet who's doing it for somebody else, just on TikTok talking, working for a company, but you're an individual who has some humanity behind what you're doing. Right. It makes all the difference in the world.
Yes, it
Absolutely.
does.
As you all are finding out.
It does.
Absolutely. That's one thing, we've gotten very passionate. In fact, she'll kick me under the table sometimes when our lives, because I get real preachy. But when I do talk, I get a little preachy. But we want to help people. I think they realize that because of our story, but also because I get very passionate about this training because we know what it did for us.
Absolutely.
I didn't start with promoting Legendary. I actually used one of the Done For You campaigns in the Decade in a Day. But I started seeing results, and I knew it was real. And then when we started seeing these commissions, and she started seeing commissions, we just got so passionate about it.
Well, what it could do for us, but what it could do for other people.
We know there's other people in our same situation, or in some type of financial situation, and we know what it did for us. And one of the things I always tell everybody, it is the greatest and best investment I've ever made in my lifetime. And I've owned other businesses.
Yep.
I've never bought a business this cheap, ever.
It's true. Yeah.
Really, as a business owner, you really have a unique perspective into what the real cost and the real work is to operate a business. And just say a little bit more about that, because I think that some of us who are a little bit newer to entrepreneurship and business just don't have that context, just don't have that experience about what it really takes in the United States of America up until this point to actually start a business.
Yeah, let's just put it in the sandblasting business we used large air compressors. 450 CFM compressors. They were $65,000 a piece. And I would go buy, and we'd have to invest. I'd go invest $65,000, and I would buy this, and I had to buy a truck to pull it. I'd have to get 3 employees to run that crew. I had to go buy the blast pots. All said and done, I'd be in for $125,000
before you made your first dollar.
Yeah, I could lose the contract the next day.
Yeah.
And I'd be sitting there with that equipment. So
you talk about stress, right? That's real.
Yeah.
Lots of stress, lots of taxes, lots of stress.
That's not even counting my overhead as far as my products, my sand, my coatings, it was we had lots of dollars.
Well, the truth is that this business, if you want to start an affiliate marketing business, or you want to do coaches, courses, or events, sell information or promote information in any way, It's really low to no cost. I mean, because this training is not the cost of a business. It's just the cost of learning how to do the thing. If you want to open an LLC, probably a good idea to do, but it's optional. You can file your taxes as a sole proprietor. It's not, the government doesn't really care as long as you pay your taxes.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care if you want to save money on your taxes, if you want to take write-offs, they just care that you pay them.
Right.
But then you've got your few low to no cost tools. You've got maybe a funnel builder, autoresponder, something like that. That's really, we've taken out the need to advertise. Surely you can run ads if you want to, but there's too much opportunity in organic free marketing right now to really even go into paid ads. So I mean, I know this is a bold statement, but I don't ever think there's been an opportunity to start a business and make incredible money, life-changing money like there is right now. And so when people, do you ever get the question, is this saturated? Is it too late? And how do you answer that?
All the time. I was telling them there's room at the table for everybody here. I mean, to me, this is just getting started.
The stable. Did you say the stable?
Room at the table.
Table. Or table. Yeah.
That works too.
You can take the cowboy and put him on the internet, but you can't take the cowboy out of the cowboy.
But no, I think it's just getting started.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean,
we also try to explain to them that being humans in our mind, we think of our little town, and if another grocery store came in, that would our little town be oversaturated with grocery stores? But we're not talking about our town. So we tell them to get out of their mindset. We're talking about the globe and the internet, and that this is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So no, it can't get saturated.
Yeah.
A lot of people get stuck also on this idea that you come in and you have to promote legendary, and that's the only thing that we teach how to do here. And I think they really miss out on a lot of opportunity by thinking that way. And you're proof that you can come in and use these skills and apply other products. But it's a matter of, some of it is a lack of knowledge. Some of it is closed-mindedness. It's about being patient with people, and it's about really realizing that people have a lot of negativity. There is a lot of negativity in the world. So a lot of times when somebody has a question and it seems like it's like a scathing question, or it seems like, a lot of times people are just asking, and once they understand, they believe in it. I mean, just like you, Lori, it was kind of like, or anybody else, it's kind of like, hey, I had seen that you'd done some MLM in your past as well. So you're not unfamiliar with kind of, being an entrepreneur, but it's like people hear affiliate marketing, they're like, what's that? And it's like, well, it's like, what's that? Is that a scam? It's like, well, actually, no, it's not. Let me tell you what it is. And then once people realize what it is, they're like, holy shit, that actually
has worked to my advantage. Because when people come on and do say that, I'm like, no, I actually do one of those. And here's the difference.
Yeah.
This is one that I do because I love the products, and it is a MLM. This is why this one isn't. So being able to speak from experience there has helped.
And people, again, going back to this point that I'm making about just a lot of times it's just not knowing. It's just kind of ignorance. And I don't mean ignorance in a negative way. I just mean ignorance, not knowing. But even MLM is not a scam. I mean, people think that MLM is a scam. They say pyramid, this, that. It's like, look, MLM is probably the furthest thing from a scam.
Well, I make really good money on that.
Your job is more like a pyramid than anything else, right? Absolutely. I mean, most corporations, that doesn't mean a job is a scam. It just means the structure is like a pyramid. If I was to lay out most company MLM compensation plans, you would see people all over the place, and the genealogy would be, it's not a pyramid. It's not like that. It's just ignorance that people say things like that. And as a matter of fact, multi-level marketing gave me a lot of skills, taught me a lot of things about being an entrepreneur. And quite frankly, because in my addiction leading up to being 24 years old, that time from when I was 18 to 24, I did get arrested a couple of times due to my addiction. I did have a DUI. I did have a fleeing and eluding. I did have a couple of things. Hey, look, nobody's perfect,
Nope.
right? I got clean in 2008. And when I got clean, I couldn't get a good job. I couldn't get some of the opportunities that other people had because I had a record. And so it's not a crazy record. It's a record that's due to my addiction, right? And MLM was the only thing I could do. It was literally the only thing that I could do. As a matter of fact, the reason why I ultimately came on the internet was looking for opportunity. It was looking for opportunity. I was doing MLM offline, and I was having problems, as most people do when they're trying to recruit friends and family and sell to their warm market, you know?
Right.
And so I came online looking for training. How do I generate leads? How do I drive traffic? What are these other people doing? What's a landing page? I started going down rabbit holes. And that's how I eventually got into affiliate marketing. But again, it's a lot of ignorance out there. And one of the things that I've really learned, and I think that you guys are doing this as well, sometimes when people show their ignorance, we jump on them and kind of like try to put them in their place. And while it's good to rant sometimes, it is good to rant sometimes, and it is good to put people who are obviously negative in their place.
Oh yeah.
But the majority of people are just ignorant and need to be educated. And once they're educated from somebody who is going to deliver it in a way consistently, like you guys are doing over time, people will get it. You'll be surprised by the people who are most skeptical, or even sometimes the most negative, become the biggest evangelist of what you're doing, because they were so skeptical, and you actually just addressed their skepticism and educated them instead of ignoring them or whatever. What's coming up for you?
I think that we kind of relate to that when we have people on here. Our business, we ran it as a second chance company. So we did hire felons. And we did hire people with records because our theory was everybody needed a second chance. Yeah. Those were 9 times out of 10 our absolute best employees, because we had given them a second chance at a good job. And so when we see people on here kind of have that approach that you're talking about, it's that same mindset that we brought with us from that job. They just need somebody to explain to them what's going on, what's happening, what this is. Now, we will have those people that just go crazy. We're convinced. We call them basement dwellers. We know they have nothing better to do. And we will block them. But yeah, if somebody is just, we try to explain to them what it is. And a lot of times we'll engage them in a conversation. I mean, we've had a few of them sign up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, that's our first comeback is say, you know what, just go research it like I did.
Yeah, fight your fight, and we'll have this discussion.
I always tell them, I'll debate anybody. Become educated. You know,
sure. Let's have an educated
side. You tell me yours, but make sure you know yours. So
we need that in America. We need to be able to educate each other and share experiences without getting offended.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and if you want to be an entrepreneur, my friends, then understand that everything's not personal. Everything's not personal. Right. It's not a personal attack. And because somebody else is doing something with their life doesn't mean that it's that you can't do it, or doesn't mean that they think they're better than you.
Right.
You have to rise above that thinking if you're struggling with that thinking at all, because not only do you need to first overcome it, but by you overcoming it and then patiently communicating to others, you will help hordes of people overcome that same. As a matter of fact, that's what marketing is. That's what marketing is, for Christmas sakes. If we went out there on the dadgum internet and we just said, hey, I got something for sale, come on in, click my link, then everybody would be doing it. The reason why this is called marketing is because we have to have a contingency plan for every situation, betting that they're not going to do what we want them to do.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the power of marketing, is that, okay, you're not going to listen to that. You're not going to take that call to action. Okay, let's keep on educating. I'm going to give you another call to action here in a second, right? Because if you're not ready yet, if that didn't do it, if that didn't convince you, fine. I'm going to keep delivering value. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep being consistent. And you know what? People will oftentimes buy a week, a month, 3 months later. They'll watch you. Are you guys finding that, as you said, you already said it,
Yes.
people come back and they watch and they see if you're going to quit, and they see if you're serious.
People get the blueprint and I'll think, I don't recognize that name. So I'll go back and they may be somebody that got the AWeber the very first week I did it.
Yeah, back in November.
And you're
October.
like, wow.
Yeah.
So you know that they've been watching to see, all right, are you really doing what you're saying you're doing? Are you believing what you're selling?
Yeah.
And you know, they're being cautious, and more power to them. But yeah, they're coming back and seeing that it's working and it's real. And they do it. So, you know, I always think people think, well, they completed the 15-day and they didn't buy it. So much for that. Well, just be patient. People need to do things on their time schedule and when they're comfortable. You don't want them to do it on your time schedule.
Well, I mean, I always think back, I researched for 6 months.
They did.
I'm serious. When I started doing affiliate marketing,
well, that's because you were the cowboy and you didn't know how to turn on the computer, so it took you 4 months.
Okay, so I wasn't even slow, which is true. Yeah, it did take me longer than most people. But,
affiliate marketing 101.
He was 001, not 007, not to be confused with 007.
Yeah,
that's right. But I did do a lot of research, and I mean, I looked at every avenue. I mean, and like I say, and I researched you. I researched other guys, and so other people are going to be the same way. I mean, I was probably one of the biggest skeptics there ever was.
But you also need to tell him that one of the reasons you went with Legendary is because
it was because
you were human. You weren't perfect. You told your story, and Kenneth respected that.
I did respect that. Like I say, I looked at a lot of different trainings, and I looked at a lot of different guys. You know, my big deal was, you can Google anything you want. You're going to get good and you're going to get bad reviews on everything.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to research the people that do the training. That's the person that's going to make the difference. It's not whether this training is good or this training, whatever, but you know, everybody's going to have their different say. So I did. I researched other guys, and I researched you.
Yeah.
And saw your story. I saw you tell your story. Saw you in Forbes magazine, and I thought, you know, $7, I'm going to give this guy a shot. You know, so
your story is what did it. So I mean, I think that's proof to everybody out there. Don't be perfect.
Yeah.
Don't just. Why are you there? What is your story? What are you doing?
Yep. Well, you two are a lot of fun and a huge inspiration. And it's not just me that feels that way. It's obviously your audience. It's individuals who are writing in saying that they are getting a lot of value from you. And you guys just need to keep up the great, fantastic work. It's really a beautiful thing to watch. And what would you say to somebody who's listening in for the first time and maybe is doing that research like you were at the beginning, Kenneth?
We definitely tell them to do their research.
Yeah, do your research.
Yeah.
Look it over. I mean, it's so real. And there again, let's go back to that investment. You got to invest in yourself. You got to
step out of your comfort zone.
Give
up the short-term comfort for the long-term win.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be my best advice, you know.
Well, that's coming from your better half, brother. So you damn well better echo that. Because
that's why I'm shaking my head like this.
He's got your back, brother, like nobody else does, man.
We've been married for 24 years, okay? I do this a lot.
Yeah.
His mama raised him right.
Well, I after sitting with you here, Lori, I don't blame him. So you both keep up the fantastic work, and please come back, both of you. If you will, in the future and see me again here in a couple of months.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Take care, you two. All right.
Bye.
All right. All right, my friends, you can go and follow Lori. Now, they both have individual profiles on TikTok. Lori is making money with _Lori, and that's spelled LAURIE, making money with _Lori. And then we have Kenneth is at Cowboy Way Marketing. Cowboy Way Marketing. You can find them on TikTok, connect with them, support them, allow them to support you as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful team that's cranking and crushing and absolutely legendary right there. So, so cool. And we have one more day to go for this week. So we'll be back here tomorrow for another episode. My friends, if you are, oh, and by the way, let me say one more thing. Tomorrow is also Decade in a Day. Okay. So if you're in the blueprints and you want to come attend Decade in a Day, go into the products tab in your back office, click blueprints, and then, or excuse me, hover over blueprints, and you'll see register for live training. And you can register right there for the Decade in a Day. You can also register for the other trainings that we have 5 days a week. You know, by the way, we've got 2 cool things that are going on this weekend. The first thing is we have a virtual mastermind going on this weekend. Okay, so anybody who has a mastermind ticket can attend that. Caroline Henne, I believe Becca, Kelly, I forget who else is coming on, but we've all of course be there. It's going to be a kick butt day. Okay, it is going to be an incredible training. I'm pretty sure that we're also doing our first Support 101 training on Saturday as well. So if you want to go into the back office, you can register for that as well. This is the first time that we're offering one of our Support 101 trainings on a Saturday. We want to see what the need is. We want to see if that's something that you all want. We're willing to meet you where you're at for those of you who can't make it during the weekday coaching sessions. So yes, those are some of the education pieces that are going on here in the week, you know, over the weekend and on Friday. And as I said, every single day for Blueprint students, we have a training, Support 101 at 1 o'clock and a hot seat and fast feedback coaching call at 2 o'clock. So it doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter what your question is. Doesn't matter if you want to just listen in. You can attend those 5 days a week, and you can even attend both of them. There's no rules. There's no, you can't, you know, you're not going to use up all your credits, right? You can attend them as much as you want to attend them, so you can get the help, the assistance, the guidance that you need. There is no place that has better and more human support than what we have right here at Legendary that'll help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And then from where you want to be to then the next place you want to go. Okay. It is a step-by-step process. It's not an overnight get rich thing. Those of you who are new heard Kenneth, heard Lori talk about their journey. It doesn't have to take years. It's not going to be overnight, but give yourself some time. Give yourself the gift of consistency. Give yourself the gift of discipline. Give yourself the gift of investing in yourself, right? This is not an investment, right? You're not investing into some equity or piece of real estate and it's just going to sit there and pay you passively. You're and I know this is a foreign concept to a lot of people. You're investing into you. So it's almost like, let me give you an analogy. It's almost like buying a piece of rental property and going in and remodeling it, upgrading its value, right? Now, all of a sudden, that piece of property is worth more because you invested into it. Well, a lot of us are kind of broke. We're kind of old houses who still have maybe shag carpet on the floors, right? You still got those old tiles from the 60s or 70s. Give yourself an upgrade. And by the way, from a marketing perspective, you can never overstate the power of the perfect analogy, right? That is a great analogy for the way in which we just let us, our homes, our temples, right, just kind of sit there and kind of rot away over the years, and we don't upgrade and invest in ourselves. So we're worth more, so we know more, so we can do more, so we can earn more. That's the reason why you do it. That's it. It's not buy this and I'm magically gonna be mailed out a button that every time I push it, it's just gonna spit out. That's not how life works, right? You don't just buy an investment piece of property and just go oogly boogly boogly abracadabra, and it's just, it's suddenly got a remodeled bathroom. You go in there and you invest in that piece of property and you upgrade its value. And when you enroll in the challenge, when you enroll in the blueprints, sure, you're parting with some of these greenbacks here inside of your, this paper money, and that feels scary. It's like, oh, I don't want to lose this paper. This is all I have. I promise you that paper is so much less valuable than you will be after you upgrade your skills. the skills that you have will be worth way more than that paper that you parted with. With most of you, it's just paper on paper, right? It's just a credit card or something like that. Understand, that's just paper. You are the one who deserves the upgrade. Whether you get it here, whether you get it somewhere else, don't let your property, you, sit there with shag carpet, old broken down cabinets, landscaping, no curb appeal. Upgrade yourself. Invest in yourself. You want to know why? You want to know why you should do it? Because you deserve it. Because you deserve it. That's why. You deserve to make more money. You deserve to have it. You do. No, regardless of what you believe, regardless of what you bet, you deserve it. You deserve it. And here's the other reason why. Because the opportunity is available for you. So why not just go and get it? Somebody else is. It's kind of like walking down the street and seeing a $20 bill on and looking around. Nobody's there. If you don't pick it up, somebody else is going to come behind you and pick it up. So pick it up. You're worth it. It's okay. Pick it up. And it's even better because this knowledge didn't fall out of somebody's pocket. So you don't even have to feel guilty about getting it, right? You just upgrade yourself, invest in yourself. You're worth it. Ask yourself, when's the last time you did it? When's the last time you invest? Sure, we all paint our houses and we get oil changes for our cars and we wash our carpets and all this. When's the last time you upgraded you? What a powerful question, right? I want to thank Kenneth and Lori again for a fantastic show. As you can tell, I'm fired up. All right, get on out of here. Be legendary. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.